Look how beautiful. Girl. Just so stunning. Hey guys, welcome back to the Clean Beauty Code. I'm so excited for this video because we're talking Victoria Beckham Beauty versus Westman Atelier. My face. One side's one brand, one side's the other. I know the eyes specifically are not matching, but I had to do what I could with what I had, but I would love to know down below if you have a preference between the brands, if you have certain things you love from one brand and certain things you love from another. Let me know down below. I love to hear from you guys. I love to hear what you're loving. I also know I'm going to get a comment in this video about the Westman Atelier. They're launching their new, or just launched actually, I believe, their powder blush duo and their powder blush with a like bronzer duo. So I'm definitely gonna get my hands on that and test that out, but I would love to know down below anything else, brands that you want me to compare and contrast to each other, do side-by-side try-ons, all of that. Let me know down below. And yeah, I just want to jump into this video and get started because this was a long video to film and I'm not trying to take up half your day with this video because it's in editing, I feel like it's going to take forever. But anyways, I digress. Yeah, let me know all of that down below. And I want to just jump right into this video. So if you're excited for this video and more videos like this, then please like and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into this Victoria Beckham Beauty versus Westman Atelier video. Victoria Beckham Beauty versus Westman Atelier. Let's jump right in. I'm really excited. So we're going to do, this half of my face is going to be Victoria Beckham Beauty. This half of my face is going to be Westman Atelier. Let's jump right in. So first things first, we're going to start with brows. I always generally start with brows. So Westman Atelier actually doesn't have a brow gel. So I'm going to use the Rose Ink brow gel on this side for Westman Atelier. And we're just gonna gel up our brow hairs. Then on this eyebrow, we're going on with the Victoria Beckham Beauty brow gel. I have their clear shade, but they also have tinted shades if you're someone that prefers a tint. And this is what the brow brush looks like. It's plastic. I actually really enjoy this brow gel. It really, your brows hold very, very long. So we're gonna gel our hairs up with this. Brows are gelled. What do you think of the Victoria Beckham Beauty brow gel? If you have used it, or just your opinion on how it looks. We're going to let this dry down before we go on with a brow pencil. So we're going back to this side and we're going to go on with the Westman Atelier brow pencil. I've talked about this so much. I love this brow pencil. It is so incredible. The spoolie kind of twists in and out, which is really nice because if you lose the cap or breaks or something like that, you don't, which won't happen here, you don't have to worry about it getting all nasty because it just twists in and out. It's genius. More brands should do that. But anyways, I wear the shade Bark in this brow pencil. I really enjoy this. This might not work for everyone, depending on your brow thickness. You can get a really pinpointed kind of tip. You have a really pinpointed tip here, so you can kind of feather in hairs, but it really depends on your brow because this might not work for everyone. This formula I love and it's just the best. So we're gonna fill in our brows. Brow is filled. I love this brow pencil. It is definitely, of all brow pencils, like my most talked about. It is so nice. I've repurchased it a ton. It is definitely expensive. I believe it's $38. However, there's so much product and it lasts so long and a very little bit goes a long way. And so it lasted me about a year before I had to get another one. So I feel like the price is kind of worth it because I would have spent way more repurchasing other brow pencils because there's less product. Anyways, we're going back to this side and I have the Victoria Beckham Beauty brow pencil in the shade Deep Brown, I believe. Is it deep brown? Dark brown, and this is definitely a different style tip. It's not quite as big and it does still have a slant, which I do enjoy. I feel like that makes it just easier to fill in your brows, and it has a cap that covers the spoolie. I love a spoolie, and the cap is really secure. That is covering the spoolie, which is nice because it's really like it's not easy to kind of lose the cap, which I really appreciate because it's really easy to lose the cap on other brow pencils on the spoolie side. So that's really nice. But anyways, we're going to fill in on this side. And this one is easier to pinpoint with. However, you definitely get less product with it. But I do really enjoy this brow pencil. But in comparison to the Westman Atelier, you get less product. So that's just something to think about. And I have a scar here on this side that I'm going to fill in, and then we're going to lightly fill in kind of the ends of my brows. I don't really fill in the fronts of my brows that often. Brows are filled. What do you guys think of the brow pencil and how it fills and all of that? So I would say that the Victoria Beckham Beauty one, they both last really, really long on the brows. I would say that the Victoria Beckham Beauty one lasts a little less long than the Westman Atelier one. And I would say that the Victoria Beckham Beauty has a little bit more warmth to it. I do think that the Westman Atelier brow pencils tend to skew a little bit on the cooler side, more neutral cool side, whereas you can get more warmth like in your shades with the Victoria Beckham Beauty. Now we're moving on to complexion, and we're going to start with Westman Atelier. They have a foundation stick, and they also have complexion drops that you can use. The complexion drops are a little bit more on the dewy side. The foundation stick is more of a, I would say, natural finish. I'm going to go with the foundation stick today because I do have some hyperpigmentation here that I do want to cover, and it's easier to cover with the foundation stick just because it has less slip. I have two shades. I have the shade X and IX. I have the shade X in the complexion drops. I know that those are Roman numerals, but I don't know them. So we're just going to go with the letters, but this is the shade X, and it is a really nice shade match. I'm going to actually apply to the back of my hand like this. Oh, it's so pretty. I really, really like their foundation stick. It's like a good natural looking foundation stick. I'm actually going to get the product in this brush and just get it all up in here. And then I'm going to apply it directly to my face, and then where I want more coverage, I will take the stick and just kind of dab a little bit because I don't want a ton of coverage everywhere, just where I want to kind of perfect maybe a little bit more. And yeah, but this is a great product. We are blended on this side. What do you guys think? It's a very pretty finish. It is not super dewy or anything like that. I love a dewy finish, but I know a lot of people don't. This is great. The coverage is great. So you can get like a light to medium kind of coverage with this foundation stick. It kind of just depends on how much you apply. And what I really like to do with this is I have a little bit of hyperpigmentation here. It's not anything crazy, but just, do you see? Just apply it right there, and then you can let it sit, but just apply and just dab it out. And anywhere else I want a little additional coverage, I will do that. So that is this side done. Now I'm going to show you the complexion drops just so you can see them. Again, I have the same shade in the foundation as the complexion drops. And I love these complexion drops. They are so, so nice. And they just, oh, I will say I feel like the complexion drops have a little bit more of a neutral finish to them. I don't know why, at least on initial kind of like taking it out of the thing. But this is what it looks like. It is so stunning. This is kind of my go-to. If you have oily skin or an oily T-zone like I do, just powder or just prep your skin kind of accordingly, and don't kind of go too heavy with the super hydrating products, because Westman Atelier products in general just tend to kind of skew a little bit more in that kind of skincare realm where you kind of are applying a makeup product that does have more of that skincare finish. Now we're going to move on to the Victoria Beckham Beauty side, and we're going to use their concealer stick or pen. I have two shades, MD1 and M1, and I think I'm going to do more of M1 and a little bit of MD1, and I'm gonna just, let me make sure MD1, just a little bit. I'm gonna put it on the back of my hand, or the front of my palm of my hand, and then a little bit of M1, and I'm gonna mix these two shades together on the palm of my hand real quick. So this is the shade we have here, and I'm going to take another one of these and really just get it all in here. And then I'm gonna apply it to my face, and then we're gonna build up if we need to. And I just did about a kind of a 2 clicks of one and a click on of the other. So just a click of MD1, and then M1 was a double click, if you will. Then for spot concealing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit again of each, just a little bit. I'm not even pumping out more. I'm just taking what is left because there's still plenty left on the pen, and kind of mixing it together and placing it where I feel like I need a little extra coverage. Now we are going to move on to concealer, and we have a couple of options with Westman Atelier. We obviously have their concealer. I have 2 shades in this. What I will say is I had a really hard time finding a shade match in Westman Atelier. Their concealers, I feel like they just skew a little bit yellow and a little bit warm for my complexion, but they do, I think I can mix them and kind of make it work, or you can use their foundation stick. And I have the shade IX, which is also really good for under my eyes. So we might do a little mixy-poo of the two, depending on where we kind of land with how I'm kind of looking. So I have T1 and T2, and I'm gonna do a little mix of both. So we have T1 here, which is definitely more on the yellow side. I hope you can see, it's right here. Yeah, it's definitely skewing pretty yellow. And then I also have T2, which is definitely skewing more on the orange side. You can see here, yeah, there we go. So definitely 2 very different kind of complexions. Maybe I'll just go T1. I might just go T1 because I feel like I'm very pale right now, so I feel like T1 is kind of the move. You guys will have to let me know what you think. Wait, let me make sure I actually grab the right shade. Yeah, this is T1. And I have a little bit of a, I don't know what actually it is, just a little like pop blood vessel or something right here. So we're gonna have to try and work on that. But this is the shade here. And with this, a little bit of this goes a long way. I don't like to over apply this. You can let this sit. Today, because I might layer on top with the foundation stick, I'm going to blend out right away. You can blend with your finger, with a brush. I prefer an initial blend out with my finger, just like in position, and then go with a brush. And then maybe go in with your finger again to just blend out the edges. But that's what we're gonna do now, and just kind of build it up. My allergies have been so horrific that my under eyes have gotten so dark, and it's very annoying because I worked so hard to get them to brighten up, but that's just, I guess, par for the course for allergy season. And then around the edges, I'm just going to take the brush to kind of melt it all in and just make sure it's not looking very makeup-y, if that makes sense. So that is this side kind of blended out. I do need some brightness, so we're going to go in with the foundation stick that's IX1 because we're looking a little, it's just a little too dark, and just allergies are killing me. So I'm going to take a little bit of the foundation stick in the shade IX1, and I'm just going to place right here the foundation very lightly. And then I'm actually just going to blend with my fingers because this blends so nicely with your fingers under the eyes. I'm not worried about it going too high up. I just want the little bit of darkness I have specifically here to kind of calm down. Because, get out of here. All right, that's a lot better. What do you guys think? You have to let me know down below. I really, really like using the foundation stick as a concealer under the eyes. If I had to kind of pick between the liquid concealer and the foundation stick, I honestly would go foundation stick just because that's my personal preference in terms of like undertone and stuff like that. Because I feel like although I have a really good shade match in their foundation, in their concealer, I just couldn't find it. And so it looks a little bit like jaundice under my eyes. Anyways, I digress. We're going to go to the other side. We're going to take the shade M1, which is the lighter shade of the two concealers I have for the Victoria Beckham Beauty concealer. And I'm just going to place it down. And this one you can let sit for a while. You can also let the Westman Atelier one sit, not as long, but you can let it sit. My preference is just to not really do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this sit for about a minute. You can even leave it up to 2 minutes. It's a very hydrating under eye product. However, it does not crease at all. It's actually very impressive. I don't know how they did that with this, but I'm going to let it sit for a minute and then we're going to come back and blend it out. All right, we've let it sit long enough, so I'm going to blend it out with my ring finger. We're just going to tap it out. We are blended. What do you guys think of both kind of concealing? What do you think of the complexion? Let me know down below. You can definitely build up both concealers. The Victoria Beckham Beauty, though, is definitely more of a light. If you let it sit long enough, you can kind of build it up to a light plus maybe a little bit of medium coverage, whereas the Westman Atelier, you can definitely build it up, but you can build it up, in my opinion, only to kind of be medium plus coverage. But I don't, at least for me, I have to apply too much product to get it to be full coverage. So yeah, but this is what the under eyes are looking like. I'm really happy. Now we're going to move on to bronzer, and with Westman Atelier, we have two options today. We have their new bronzing liquid drops. These are more of a matte finish, and then we also have their contour bronzing stick. I'm going to use both of these in the makeup look today, I think. But I think I'm going to go with the bronzing drops. I've used this a lot on camera. I'm still going to use this today, but I think I'm going to use it more on my eye today. So we're going to use their new bronzing drops today. I have the shade 3, Soleil Parfait 3, and Always Shake. And then I'm going to just, a little bit of this goes a long way. Don't over apply this. I mean, you can, but I already feel like it's even too much. That's okay. And this is what it looks like. It's a really nice shade, and I'm going to just take it. Look at it, just blends so seamlessly and quickly. Very little bit goes a long way. You don't need to over apply or overuse this. So I'm going to take this brush here. I'm going to dip in, and on this side, we're going to bronze up our face, and it's just so pretty. It is such a pretty bronze color. It gives me just the best kind of color. I love it. So then I'm actually going to take the contour stick. I wear the shade Truffle in this on my finger and just pull it down. Just to add a little bit of bronze on this side, because I love like just adding bronzer to the nose just does wonders. So we're just going to do, it's going to be 50-50. So we're going to do that on this side. I'm just going to take a fluffy brush because I didn't bring my Patrick Ta nose brush, and I'm going to blend this out with the fluffy brush. We are bronzed up. What do you think of what's going on the Westman Atelier side? Just the bronze is just so pretty. I'm obsessed. Anyways, now we're going to move on to the Victoria Beckham Beauty side, and we have two options. We have a contour stick, or I believe they call it a stylus, and I have the shade Sandstone in this. I'm going to also use this on multiple parts of my face. And then we also have the Victoria Beckham Beauty, they're magnetic. They're powders. We have the shade 03 and the shade 04. I believe I'm going to use the shade 04 in the powder, but we also have their contour stick. So I'm going to double duty use them up. So first I'm going to go with the powder bronzer, and I'm going to dip in with this brush here and just dip into both sides of this. Again, this is the shade 04. This powder is absolutely stunning. I have the shade 03 too. The reason I'm using 04 is I feel like the shades kind of match the shades that I used on the Westman Atelier side more. And I'm going to grab, these are pigmented. I'm going to grab the back of the brush and I'm going to just kind of pat it in. I'm not going to swipe too much and just kind of pat it in and just build it up. I always tap off, tap off, tap off. Because if not, it gets away from me so fast. And then all of a sudden I'm like, wait, what did I do wrong? Okay, we are bronzed up on this side. What do you think of the shade? I tried to go with the shade 04 just because it has a little bit more red in it. And I feel like the Westman Atelier also, their bronzing drops also had a little bit of red. So I felt like this would be a decent shade match. Not perfect, but decent. Oh, geez. The shade 03 is definitely less red in tone. So now we're going to move on with the stylus for the nose contour, and we're also going to use it on our eye. So I'm going to take the stylus and just, this is definitely darker than what's going on the other side, and just pull it down my nose. And then I'm going to take that same brush and just blend it out. This nose contour, or contour in general, so you can contour around your face with it, blends out really easily, which is so nice. We are bronze. What do you guys think of what's going on the face so far? I feel like I'm matching them pretty decently, which I'm impressed by, because I feel like the next step, we're not going to be quite matching as much, but that's okay. Now we're going to move on to blush, and we also have highlight and all of that. Now for blush on the Westman Atelier side, we have this blush here. It is the shade Chouchette. They have so many beautiful shades. I really like this. This is a really nice kind of like a petally pink shade. I feel like I made that up, but petal pink feels pretty accurate. This is the shade here. I'm gonna put it on the back of my hand, and I'm gonna dip in with a brush. In general, I like to use all kind of cream blushes with a brush, liquid cream. We're gonna go on with this brush here. I'm gonna dip in. Then I'm gonna take a little bit off on the back of my hand, and we're going to lightly build up, because sometimes blush gets away from me real fast. And we're just gonna tap it in. Oh, look how pretty that blush shade is. It's nice and it's subtle and it's not doing too much, and I just love it. All right, what do you think of the shade of the blush? It is so pretty. It is very natural looking in a good way. It melts into the skin, so it isn't looking very apparent. Has a touch of dew to it, but it also has like a naturally dewy-ish kind of finish. Wow, the description, horrific, but it is very pretty. What I would love to know what you guys think of the finish, the color. They have so many beautiful shades. I have another one that I want to grab, but I do hope they make it in smaller, because I don't want to have like a whole big one, just because a very little bit of this blush goes a long way, and I just feel like it would be a waste to have a big one. Anyways, I digress. Now we're going to move on to the Victoria Beckham Beauty. And I have two shades of their blush stick. I think I know what shade I'm going to go with. I have the shade Playground, which is my most worn, and just stunning. It's so pretty. And then the shade I think I'm going to go with, because it's more on the pinky side, even though it's definitely brighter, is the shade Mini Skirt. A stunning shade. A stunning shade. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to wipe whatever's on the back of my hand off. So we have a clean slate. And then I'm going to take the shade Mini Skirt on the back of my hand, and I'm going to use that same brush, but I wiped it off. So I'm going to go on with this brush here. This is my favorite blush brush right now. It's the perfect size. If you have a small head, I have a very small head and just a small face in general, this size is just perfect. Some are very overwhelming and just overtake your face. Anyways, I digress. Dip in, make the some off, because if not, it gets away from me very quick. And we're just going to build it up. I'm literally obsessed with the shade. It is so pretty. And these are also, just like the Westman Atelier blushes, really easy to build up. We're blushed up. What do you guys think? Let me know what you think about the shades and all of that. I'm going to break down at the end which kind of I prefer and all of that, even though I feel like a lot of you who watch this channel will already have guessed it. But we're going to break everything down at the end. But let me know what you think. Now we're going to move on to highlight. We only have highlight on the Westman Atelier side. My brain just stopped working on the Westman Atelier side. So we have two options. We have my favorite products of all time. These I wear all over my face and also just as highlights. These are the Westman Atelier. They're super loaded drops and they have such a beautiful finish. I'm obsessed with these. And then we also have highlight. And I have a mini. See, this is like the perfect size because a very little bit of this product goes a long way, and I have their highlight. So what I'm thinking of doing is I'm going to do some highlight. I'm going to use this highlight on my nose, and then I'm going to use the, because I want to make sure I use everything, and I'm going to use the Westman Atelier Super Loaded Drops in Peau de Pêche on the high points of my cheek. Let me know if you like that I'm kind of using everything. So I'm going to do just a dot. These are so stunning. And just kind of rub them around on the back of my hand, and then use them on the high points of my cheek. Ugh, look how beautiful. Girl, just so stunning. I'm literally obsessed with these drops. I mean, look how pretty. They're just so stunning. And when you wear them all over your face on their own, absolutely gorgeous. Like, just my complexion is always so flawless when I wear the drops on their own, or when I mix them with foundation, or I mix them with face creams or whatever. My skin is always looking incredible. And look at that highlight, just absolutely gorgeous. Now we're going to use the other highlight on my nose and in actually the corner of my eye for a little pop of just inner corner highlight. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take this highlighter here. This is their highlighting stick in the shade Petal. Did I make that up? Okay, first of all, made that up. Nectar. I think they actually just came out with one that's called Petal, but this is so beautiful. So I'm going to take it and just on this side highlight, which seems insane. And then I'm going to use it also in my inner corner as a highlight when I finish with my eye. So now we're going to move on to the eye, and I'm going to take a little bit of the Westman Atelier, their contour stick, and I'm going to take some of that and put it all over my lid. And I'm also going to take a little bit on just a small brush and pull it on my lower lash line. Then we're going to take a little bit of the highlight and put it in the inner corner. Inner corner highlight hits every time. Every single time I do it, I'm like, why wasn't I doing it before kind of thing. I'm such a big fan. Now, the one thing I don't have from Westman Atelier is their eyeliner. So this eye, unfortunately, is going to remain unlined, but that's okay. Now we're going to move on to this side, the Victoria Beckham Beauty side, and we're going to take the contour stick and we're going to put it kind of in the crease here and then blend with my finger. I'm also going to take this and pull it on my lower lash line and then blend it out with a brush. Now we're going to go on with eyeshadows from Victoria Beckham Beauty. I know that Westman Atelier has like a eyeshadow like quad thingy. I actually also don't have that. Those kind of intrigued me less, but if you are interested in those and you want me to review them, let me know. But I have a single eyeshadow from Victoria Beckham Beauty in the shade Tea Rose. If you've watched this channel before, you know that I love this. It is so stunning. And we're just going to take a little bit on our finger. And I'm going to just kind of, look how pretty that is. Ugh, I'm obsessed. And we're just going to kind of tap it out. I'm not going to pull it fully in my inner corner. I'm just going to kind of tap it out. Look how pretty that sheen is. It is so stunning. It gives like a really like kind of wet look to the lid. It is so pretty. It's just so pretty. I'm a really big fan, and I love that it's an individual eyeshadow. You just truly, you can't tell me that single eyeshadows aren't just the move. I need everything to be in single eyeshadows. Anyways, now we're going to move on to eyeliners. I have 1 million 300 of the Victoria Beckham Beauty, and by 1,300,000 I mean 3 of the Victoria Beckham Beauty eyeliners. I have the shade, I don't want to go on with black necessarily today, but I have the black. Then I also have the shade cinnamon, and I also have the shade brown. I'm just going to go on with brown today. Okay, I should have brought a sharpener. And we're just going to lightly line the eyes today. I don't want it to go too crazy. Then in my waterline, I do want to take a little bit of the shade cinnamon. So we're going to take a little bit of this. I know I look crazy right now because both sides don't match, but I just feel like we gotta go with the crazy look today and do kind of what I would do on both sides with what I have from each brand. Now we're gonna go on with the Victoria Beckham Beauty eyeshadow sticks. I'm actually only gonna use, I have 2 shades. I have the shade Shroom and Oyster. I'm only gonna go on with Oyster. Shroom is a beautiful kind of neutral tone brown shade, but I'm gonna go on with this just in the inner corner, the shade Oyster. This is such a pretty shade. I love this shade. It is absolutely stunning. I love an inner corner highlight. You have to let me know down below. Are you a big inner corner highlight person? Now we're going to go on with mascaras. I'm going to actually curl both sides. So we're going to curl. Both sides are curled. Now we're going to go on with the Westman Atelier mascara first. This I love. This is their I Want You mascara. I don't believe that they sell their I Love You mascara anymore, which was in the gold tube. And the one I Love You mascara versus I Want You, no contest. The I Want You is just better, and that's the one in the gold packaging. Westman Atelier mascara has been applied. What do you guys think of it? I'm such a big fan of that mascara, and it's definitely one that I will repurchase when I run out. They have a brown shade, and it looks stunning, and I really want to grab that one. So I might grab that one next when I'm done with the black, but let me know what you think. Now we're going to move on to the Victoria Beckham Beauty mascara, and we're going on with this one. This is their Vast Lash. Is that the right name? Yeah, Vast Lash. They also have one in the black tube. That one, in my opinion, that's more for someone who likes a very minimal lash, whereas this one gives you a little bit more volume, length, and all of that. Both beautiful mascaras, but I like a little bit more of dramatic lash, so I prefer the Vast Lash one. And we are going to do 2 coats on the top and a little bit on the bottom, just like on the Westman Atelier side. Mascaras are on. What do you guys think? Now we're gonna move on to the lips. And the lips I might end up looking a little different too, but I'm gonna try to keep them, I'm gonna try to keep them looking somewhat similar, but they might not. So we have 2 options with Westman Atelier. We have their lip oil, which is a tinted kind of lip gloss lip oil product. I have it in red. And then we also have their lipstick, and I have it in this kind of, it looks a lot more red in tone in the monitor. I did a whole try on with this when I first got it and after I had tested it, and I noticed in the monitor it does appear a lot redder. This is a very neutral brown. Very neutral. So I think we're gonna go with this because we have a neutral brown with Victoria Beckham Beauty as well. So I feel like that'll keep it very equal looking. You'll have to let me know what you think down below. But this is their matte lipstick, and this is the shade here. What is it? Something Rue. If my eyes don't get a grip. Yeah, Rue. And this is the shade here. Again, in person, it's very much more of a neutral brown and not quite so red. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little bit of this on my lips and just kind of stamp it around. That is the shade Rue here. So again, this is a matte lipstick. It is a nice lipstick. Is it worth $50? In my opinion, it is nice. The component is really nice, but I do think you can find something similar to this for, not $50, but it is nice. And I think there are going to be people that it's suited for, but in my opinion, it's not a must-have. There are definitely things within the Westman Atelier collection that are definitely way more worth it. This one is nice, but it doesn't, you know, make me lose my mind. But this is the shade here. I feel like I look insane with this 50-50. So this is what we're looking like right now. Now we got to go on with the Victoria Beckham Beauty lip. Now I have a brown lip liner from Victoria Beckham Beauty. This is the, why don't I ever bring a sharpener? This is the shade 05. It's one that I have backups of, and I'm a really big fan. And I feel like, oh, how did I do that? It's decent. It's a decent match. It's definitely a little bit warmer in person than this one, but they're both like nice neutrally browns. And that is the Victoria Beckham Beauty. Now my lips are really, really dry right now, so I'm going to take a little bit of a gloss, just like a hydrating gloss, and put it on. I feel like I did a pretty decent job in terms of color matching for the lips. What do you guys think? I mean, it's not a perfect match, especially in person. It's definitely the roux is a little bit more neutral in tone in person, but it isn't anything so stark that it's like alarming. What do you guys think? I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of this lip color match because I was nervous. I was like, okay, well, I don't have like perfect matches for either, but it looks pretty good. What do you guys think? You have to let me know down below. And yeah, now I want to just kind of talk through the products, compare and contrast. We're not going to do too much chatting. We're just going to kind of walk through. So for Victoria Beckham Beauty versus the Westman Atelier, the brow pencil, I prefer the Westman Atelier brow pencil. The Westman Atelier does not have a brow gel. I really enjoy the brow gel from Victoria Beckham Beauty. I also really enjoy their brow pencil. I just think bang for your buck, the Westman Atelier is just worth it more because I believe the Victoria Beckham Beauty is $34 and the Westman Atelier is $38, and you get so much more money. You get so much more product for your money with the Westman Atelier. Now let's talk complexion. So Victoria Beckham Beauty does not have kind of foundation, skin tint type products, but I really love both of these for kind of everyday and a lighter makeup look. When I want to look dewy, I definitely go with the complexion drops. But when I want more of a natural finish, I love the foundation stick. Now for concealers, we have Westman Atelier and we have Victoria Beckham Beauty. I prefer the Victoria Beckham Beauty. I know you get so little product. I know that, I'm acknowledging that, but I like the formula more. I like the wear of it more. I like the tones more too. I felt like there were a lot more shade options that work for my complexion. And so I really like the Victoria Beckham Beauty. It also does not crease. The Westman Atelier one doesn't really crease either, but the Victoria Beckham Beauty is more crease proof in my opinion. It is just so incredible. I love the way that it melts in the skin. I'm just such a big fan. When I did the side-by-side review of these, I also picked the Victoria Beckham Beauty one then, and I haven't changed my mind. Both nice, but I think if you have kind of, even though this has like hydrating stuff, in my opinion, if you have drier under eyes, this one I feel like is not going to be for you. At least it doesn't work for me in terms of when I'm drier or I do have a little bit maybe of texture under my eyes. This clings to the texture more. This one doesn't. It just kind of glides over. Now let's talk bronzers. Now I know that Westman Atelier technically has a powder bronzer, but they also have a duo that just came out that I'm going to get my hands on. I know a lot of you have messaged me being like, can you try it? So I'm going to be grabbing those, but we're going to be comparing these two. So, I mean, both are beautiful. I feel like they both look really beautiful on the skin. Here, for me, it's really formula preference. It depends on the day. I actually really love both of these equally. The powder of the Victoria Beckham Beauty is elite. It reminds me so much of the Physician Formula's Butter Bronzer with just the way that it disappears and like doesn't look like powder on the skin. It's just stunning, super pigmented. I have two shades, so obviously I'm a really big fan. And this, although a newer product, is one that I really, really enjoy. I love a liquid bronzer, and it's so hard to find a true liquid bronzer that is more on the matte side and doesn't have sheen to it. Now, I want to mention also these because there is a bronze shade in this. It's Soleil, I believe. Wait, what is it? Is it Soleil? Yeah, Peau de Soleil. So I want to mention this too. This is great, but this has more of a sheen to it, whereas the other one, the shade 3 that I have, what is it? Soleil Parfait 3 is more of a matte finish. Even though to me it's more of a natural, like when it fully dries down, it's more of a natural finish. However, I love that. It's so rare to find something like this, and I'm a really, really big fan. Both of these are great. Now, I love these as all over the face complexion products. I love these for highlight. I love these for bronzing, mixing together. These are incredible. I mean, these are definitely, I feel like, my most talked about thing. I'm obsessed with these. These are incredible and 100% worth the money. I know there's so many other products out there like this. However, this formula is unique, in my opinion. Incredible. Now let's talk contour sticks. So the Westman Atelier contour stick is like this. I actually use it more as a bronzer. And then the Victoria Beckham Beauty contour stylus. I actually really like both of these. The one that I will say I use the most is the Westman Atelier, just because it's a little bit bigger, and I just kind of put it on the back of my hand and blend it out that way. However, I really like this, and I really enjoy the Victoria Beckham Beauty stylus for on my eye. I don't know, it's just incredible. And nose, if you struggle with nose contour and you don't want to, you know, get a specific brush, or you want something that's just small, these are great, and there's a lot of great tones. And I feel like especially for the lighter shades, there's a really, really good contour shades, and they both last super long on me. They last all day. I'm a really big fan, and if I had to pick, I would probably go with the Westman Atelier, just because it's one that I grab more because of the size of it, because I use it as more of a bronzer than I do a contour. If I had to go with one to contour with, I would definitely go with the Victoria Beckham Beauty. So both great, but I kind of use them for different things, but I also use them both on my eye, and I love them both for on my eye. The stylus from Victoria Beckham Beauty is a little bit thicker and has slightly less slip to it, but both, I feel like once you blend them out, they perform very similarly to me, and they're beautiful. Now for true highlight, we have this one from Westman Atelier. I love this. This is one that I only did it on half my nose. Maybe I should just now even it out, because we're looking a little crazy. We're looking a little bit crazy. But I love this. This is great. It doesn't pick up makeup that is underneath it, and it's very nice and natural. It's one that I know I'm going to be grabbing a lot for more beachy days, or days where I want a really true no makeup look. And I don't necessarily want anything with a very more of a sheen, like the super loaded drops. It is just so pretty. Look at that. It's just so pretty. I am such a big fan, and I also just put it on top of where the lipstick was, so it looks more pigmented than it is, but the sheen is absolutely stunning, and I'm a really, really big fan of it. And overall, if I had to pick between the super loaded drops and the highlighter stick, I would probably go with the super loaded drops, just because they're more versatile for me and I can use them in a lot of different ways. However, I still really enjoy this highlight, and I think if you like that more no makeup look, and you like that Chanel highlight that is also kind of in that balm style, or you like the Ami Collet, their highlight in the stick, you'll probably really enjoy this, and they have a lot of beautiful shades. Next up, we have blush, and we have the Victoria Beckham Beauty blush, which is on this side, and the Westman Atelier, which is on this side. I really enjoy them both. My most used is definitely the Victoria Beckham Beauty blush, but the shades are so stunning in the Victoria Beckham Beauty blushes, and they last all day. Actually, both last all day, but they last all day. And although you think, oh, I've seen that shade before, when you apply, you kind of notice that there is a little bit of something different with the Victoria Beckham Beauty ones, but they are both stunning. Again, there is a shade I want to try in the Westman Atelier. I just haven't bit the bullet yet, because I'm hoping they come out with a mini, but really great. Again, I would say that the Victoria Beckham Beauty has a little bit more of a natural finish, whereas the Westman Atelier has a natural with a little bit of dew, but you can tell me what you think of the blushes. To me, they wear really, really similarly. The Victoria Beckham Beauty one might last like a fraction longer, but it's nothing significant. They are both absolutely stunning, and I'm a really big fan of both these formulas. Now let's talk eyes. So I don't have the eyeliner from Westman Atelier, or I know they have like a eyeshadow quad type thing from Westman Atelier. I don't have those. So for those, I can't really speak on them. However, these eyeshadow sticks from Victoria Beckham Beauty, I'm obsessed with them. I don't know why I slept on them for so long. I got them last year, like towards the end of the year, maybe like November-ish. I love these. The shade Oyster is definitely my most used. The shade Shroom I love for just, I want a little bit of something on my lid. It's just so stunning. They last all day. They are so beautiful. They do it for me. And then for the single eyeshadow that I have from Victoria Beckham Beauty, I love this. I've talked about this a ton. Look at that sheen. It is gorgeous. And it just, look at that. No creasing or anything. It is just absolutely beautiful. And I definitely am interested in checking out other shades. But this one, Tea Rose, just did something to my soul. And so I had to get it. And I use it nonstop. And I always get compliments when I wear it. I always love wearing it on top of a bronzer on my lid or a brown eyeshadow on my lid. It's just absolutely beautiful. What do you guys think? Next up, we have eyeliners. Now, again, I don't have the Westman Atelier their Kohl eye pencil. However, I do have the Victoria Beckham Beauty, and I own so many, and I love this formula. It's incredible. I mean, I talk about all the time. It's in favorites videos all the time. It is creamy, but it sets down. It's easy to like smudge out. It's like if you want to wear it alone on your eye with nothing else, you can create an absolutely stunning look just putting it down and blending it out. And it's just absolutely incredible. I love these. I love these. Then we have mascaras. I love both these mascaras. If I had to pick between the two, I would go Westman Atelier. However, they're both incredible formulas. They both wear really, really well throughout the day, and I love them. I mean, what do you guys think? I'm looking at them in the mirror here, and it just, what do you think? They're so beautiful. Now, the Victoria Beckham Beauty is a tubing mascara. The Westman Atelier is not, and I know some people really, really only like tubing mascaras, so I want to make sure I mention that. But both are absolutely stunning, and you have to let me know what you think. Also, be nice about my lashes because I know we're going through it today. Actually, for the past couple of weeks, we've been going through it lash-wise. But you let me know which you prefer. Again, I prefer, of the formulas, I prefer the Westman Atelier. However, I prefer the way that the Victoria Beckham Beauty one removes. So that's the difference there. Now let's talk lips. So for the Victoria Beckham Beauty side, I have their lip liners. I have backups of multiple shades. I have backups of the brown shade that I applied today, which is 05, and the shade, is this one the right shade? This might actually not be the right shade. No, this one's 02. I also have the shade 04, which is my most repurchased of their lip liners. I feel like I've owned like 6 of them. It's a problem, and I have a backup. So incredible. I also have the red shade, which is really, really pretty. And I usually wear this or try this on during my kind of holiday makeup look videos, but I really like this formula. It's not super drying. It doesn't move. There are other lip liners out there that move when you breathe. These do not move, but they don't dry out your lips, and my lips are the dustiest and crustiest constantly, especially in winter, and these are incredible, and I am obsessed with them. Now let's talk Westman Atelier. So I have 2 of their lip products. I have their lipstick, which is a matte lipstick. To me, it's more of a soft matte lipstick. It's a very comfortable wear. It's not like a groundbreaking formula, in my opinion. For $50, I would want you to change the oil in my car, quite frankly. But this is a really nice, comfortable wear, and I feel like there's a lot of beautiful shades that people will love. And I feel like going for a bold color for an expensive lipstick is kind of the move, but it is really nice. It is a nice formula. The component is nice and expensive feeling and all of that, but it is still kind of more on that matte side, so I'm always nervous that my lips are going to be one flake. But it is nice. But it's not my favorite formula. Then we have their lip oil. I really like their lip oil. This one is in a really pretty red tone. And I love this. This is such a pretty shade to wear when I want something. It's hydrating. It lasts decently on the lips. I have nothing bad to say about the lip oil, and the component is nice and it's hefty. Then another thing that I don't have from Victoria Beckham Beauty, because they don't have it, is a powder, the Westman Atelier powder. I know I'm gonna go to jail. I love this and I would repurchase. And I know it's like $75. I know. I have a sickness. But it's incredible. It's a nice blot and blurring powder. This is one I always have in my purse. I have the translucent shade. I dropped this 175 times. So I can't really show you what it looks like because it's all like cracked and it's all gonna fall, but I have the translucent shade. No, it's all gonna fall out. Don't drop it. Well, I dropped it like 6 times in a row. If you drop it once, it doesn't crack. You drop it 6 times in a row, because I was a Butterfingers that day, then you're gonna get some cracking. But I really like this formula, and it's one that I always have in my purse, and I like to use it with a brush or with one of those like powder puff things. Tap in, then get the excess out on the back of my hand, and then pat my under eyes with it or whatever I need with this. This is so beautiful. I love this. Maybe I should apply a little bit. Actually, you know what? We're gonna apply a little bit of this. We're gonna do it. We're gonna go for it. And we're gonna do it all over the face now that we're done kind of doing half and half. Just look at what it does. I know, it's crazy. And again, I don't really like to set either of these concealers. I feel like they just perform better when, look at, and then look. You see that? I hope you can see that. It is so pretty. And really, this is like a great blotting product, which is why I like to have it in my purse. But I would love to know down below if you have tried it. What do you think? Do you think it's worth the money? Again, it's something I would repurchase, but I am completely aware that it is so expensive, which is why it's all cracked and a disaster in my purse, but I'm refusing to get rid of it because it's so expensive, but I love it. Yeah, that is it. That is it for my Westman Atelier versus Victoria Beckham Beauty kind of comparison video. What do you think of the makeup? Do you like it? How do you think I did? Let me know down below if I know there's some couple products that I didn't have. If there are any in there that you were like, oh, I really want you to try that, let me know down below. And yeah, that's it for this video. That is it for my Victoria Beckham Beauty versus Westman Atelier kind of breakdown and try on. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.